Hi, this is Shadi, and today we're going to be discussing HEMA, or Historical European Martial Arts. Before I do that, I really want to say thank you to my friend Dax, who really gave me pointers about this subject and references. He is a purple belt, also a Filipino martial arts instructor, fencing instructor, so I'll leave a link in the description below for his channel if you want to check it out or you're interested in dueling and fencing. So HEMA, this is something that's gonna be very old, particularly in the late medieval period. I'm talking about the evidence. HEMA has been making a rise or a comeback ever since the 90s, and even more recently, people are trying to include even more grappling based on these old depictions with the fencing. Now, at first it was just the longsword, and because it is very long, there was barely any grappling. It's just mainly fencing. Very similar to like kendo today and the old kendo with the grappling. So today we're gonna go through these medieval depictions and try to compare them with the old Katame waza of Judo, because you know the saying is true, the human body is the same all throughout the world, so it's very natural to come up with so many conclusions the same all throughout the world. Now, without further ado, let's start with the first one. Obviously you can see here an over and under with the grip of the belt and trying to reap the leg. I would say this is very much like your O Sotogari, something very simple but works all the time, even at the highest level. So you grip, you go to the side, unbalancing and reap away the leg and taking them down. Very easy. So today we're gonna go through open hand and also with weapons. I can't go through all of them, but it's gonna give you a general idea of what historical European martial arts used to be like. Now, speaking of outer reaps, the next one is your Ko Sotogari, or it can be also a Deashi Harai. I'll explain the difference in a bit. So here you see he's gripping, he's taking down, and also reaping the leg. So Ko Sotogari, you actually go down to the side, you put all their weight on that leg before taking it down. You do so with the sleeve, with the lapel. Here you see like the way he took the sleeve down. He's anchoring the weight on that leg and also going to the side to really, he's choosing that leg and then reaping it away from underneath him. This is Ko Sotogari, a reap, not a sweep. Here you see it taken away. The next one, it can be also Deashi Harai, going to the side, same thing, but as they are advancing, hence the name Deashi Harai, while the weight is not on that leg, you sweep it away or you continue its motion. Now obviously with the European martial arts there's the boots, so you cannot cup your leg like you do in Judo. So you just kick, almost very similar to Boch with their boots, but the principles are the same and they still apply. Now this one here, obviously you can see that the legs are lifted up and also you have an upper body grip. This is your Tomoe Nage, or your circular throw, a Sutemi waza, or a sacrificing technique. Here you see very similar. It's very easy to come up with such a technique. Yes, it works, it's very basic, but it's also very simple to come up with it. Especially someone that's charging you, you can easily go down and surprise them. I said this before, even Simba used it against Scar. So the next one being some ground technique, the mount or tate shio gatame. What's really cool about this photo is that you can see him also hooking the legs the way we do mount or tate shio gatame. So it's really a way to prevent them from getting back up or have the mobility in the legs in order to really turn you to the side. This is your tate shio gatame. You can hold the upper body in so many ways. You can here do with the head and arm, double under, whatever it may be. Here you can also hook the legs. The next one, this one is a bit tricky. You can see he's hooking the leg and also pulling the jaw up. It's a bit like a calf slice, spine lock, and also a chin crank. Here, this is one of your old calf slices. He does it with the other guy's leg. He's a hishigi, but instead of just grabbing the collar, he actually pulls the jaw towards him. Very nasty. This one here, obviously your tangled arms, or ude garami, in order to disarm the knife, but here he is doing it standing up. You can see the old Gracie self-defense doing it. You can also see Kyuzo Mifune doing it. I would say this is very effective, but you need to train it religiously. This is your classical ude garami from waza. You can be on top, you can be on the bottom. Here you can call it Americana in BJJ. Here you can see a reverse, people call it kimura. Let's see here, the standing and does it, but with a knife. Here you see Kyuzo Mifune do it, wrapping the arm, tangling them, ude garami or te gatame in case if it's just one arm. Now, this one here, I would say it's a gokyo from Aikido because you have the knife. Not necessarily ikkyo because ikkyo it's a bit different. I'll show you the gokyo just so you can know how to disarm the knife. It's actually a undergrip rather than an overgrip. Here you see he explains, Mike Jones explains that if I do this, I'm gonna get cut, but rather go under and grab the wrist as you see here, and then continue to press down, putting pressure on the elbow. In order to disarm, you do like a wrist lock and press on the ground because it's very hard to make a fist or grab a knife, as you see here. This was gokyo. Here he opens up, grabs, turns, puts pressure down, and then wrist locks against the ground in order to disarm and take the knife away from him. I would say this is very similar. The next one here now, this one he's in open guard. Clearly you have his arms crossed. You would obviously tend to think of jujijime or a cross choke, but if you look deeply you would see that he's grabbing his hair and his head. So I would say he's not choking with a cross choke, but rather he's twisting his neck, pulling his hair, obviously not giving him a good time, but the guard principles are applied here. So they obviously did guard and mount or top game. The next one here you can see from the muscle fibers or like the way they are drawn and the expression on the face of the person below, you can clearly see he's having a torsion being applied to him. So it's going to be rather like an ashidori garami or like a leg hold entanglement, like a figure 4 toe hold, or you're just a regular toe hold where you grab the heel and the toes and you continue to create torsion. But you can still see that they had a lot of stand-up and also ground technique. Very impressive. Here you can see like an ippon seonage but turned around because you need to create pressure on the elbow in order to disarm and then take them down with the hands. So this is incredibly interesting. I don't know about the writings in Latin or whatever. This is not my area of domain. I'm more into judo, jiu-jitsu, but seeing these depictions, it's very easy to guess what they are trying to do. I don't know about the translations or the transcripts, what they are trying to do with them. I'm really happy that they're making a comeback. I don't know if judo or jiu-jitsu are having a very deep effect into them, kind of like what the new Swai Jiao Rebirth had a lot of boch into it and many forms of martial arts. I don't know about this one, but the techniques are very clearly, you know, very similar to judo and jiu-jitsu. So for the guys practicing HEMA, let me know what you think. If there's anything you'd like to add or clarify or something that I said that's inaccurate, please feel free to let me know down below. Also consider supporting me on Patreon. I have exclusive content for you patrons only, and please do not forget to check out Josh Simon's shop for articles and t-shirts. This was Shadi, and as always, thank you for listening.